Hello, we are waiting for our fourth person to show up and then we will get started. If you want to go ahead, you can use our Q&A to type questions. Since this is a webinar, we can't see you or hear you, and then we will get started. So welcome everybody so far. There's two of them.
We have a question.
Yes.
Should
we can answer it live already. So while we're waiting, so the answer or the question is, are you able to get a minor in another discipline like bioengineering? I guess I can answer that. You can get a minor in another one, a discipline. It may delay your graduation, but you are perfectly welcome to get a minor in almost anything that you want. So the idea is, though, if you can double count classes and whatnot is the best way to do that, and make sure that you're not overtaking classes. And that's where all the Engineering Success Center and Mustang Success Center and the career services and all the people can help you, advising centers. Okay. Josephine, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? I don't think my video is going to work today, but I'm still here. I hope you guys can all hear me.
Yes. So we have 3 participants, attendees right now. So welcome. You might wait a little bit to see if anybody else wants to jump on, and then we'll just get started. The whole thing is being recorded, so we will, of course, post that. All right.
I can answer this question.
Okay.
So the question is, what if I major in mechanical engineering and minor in computer science? I'm interested in programming, but I want to combine the both of them. I'm actually interested in doing the same thing, to tell you. It's kind of difficult to overlap the classes. The computer science stuff is not a part of the mechanical engineering curriculum, except for the first class, which is I think it's the lower division, right? Like CPE 101, right? Okay. So if you're interested in that, you probably will be looking at a longer graduation time. I myself am a transfer student, and so I've already been here for a while, but if I end up doing it, it'll probably add about a year or so, and a lot more rigorous schedule through the quarters. Would you say the same, Dr. Mott?
Yeah, yeah. So one thing that's kind of interesting with mechanical engineering is we do have the Mechatronics Concentration, which is kind of joining the mechanics and electronics kind of thing. And so it does have a lot more programming to it. And so you can combine those two. And that's the cool thing about mechanical engineering is you can really combine just about any topic with mechanical engineering, and you'll fly through. Everybody will want to hire you. So it may take a little longer to graduate, so you kind of have to balance that. But what I wanted to say about that, it wasn't said in the main one, was that with the graduation rate and graduating in 4 or 5 or however many years, is I feel at Cal Poly there's no shame in graduating longer than 4 years. So if you decide that it's best for you to take longer than 4 years, then we will support you the whole way, and you will find so many other colleagues who do the same thing. And if you say, you know what, I have to graduate in 4 years, we will support you there too. So it's really about making sure that you have the right path for you here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And if you choose the minor, sorry, just to jump in real fast, it will give you tons of opportunities elsewise besides mechanical engineering, like she was saying, mechatronics, or even in like HVAC systems.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so let's just go ahead and get started with our general thing, and then we'll keep answering questions. Looks like Josephine went away, so but she'll come back. Josephine is our first year student, and we all practiced yesterday, and this worked out. So here she comes. All right, so welcome to the Women in Mechanical Engineering. We have now a kind of club with this, and we kind of want to talk about what it's like to be a woman in mechanical engineering. So, here we go. Oops. So first, we just want to introduce ourselves. My name is Dr. Jennifer Mott-Poiker. I'm assistant professor at Cal Poly. I've been teaching here about 7 years, and my area is thermal sciences. And so I teach more third and fourth level classes. Sometimes I do work with the freshmen. And I was also a Cal Poly grad, so I came back. And I'm here because I love Cal Poly. I came here because I love teaching, and I love the environment here. It was actually my dream to come back here and teach, and I was lucky enough to be able to come back.
Awesome. I'm Kylie Landenberger. I'm a third-year transfer student. I am also the president of the Women in Mechanical Engineering Club. As of right now, I'm also involved in ASHRAE, which is our concentration for HVAC in mechanical engineering. Both of those have given me a lot of opportunity to network, meet other people, things like that. The reason I came to Cal Poly is because when I was looking at all my different options, you know, right out of high school and then also as a transfer student, Cal Poly was really what I wanted in a classroom setting. I'm not really a fan of the big classroom sizes. This is much more, the teachers are hands-on with the students, and you learn so much more that way with the learn by doing. And I have seen that tremendously. So that's why I chose Cal Poly. Go ahead, Christina.
Thanks. I'm Christine. I'm a third year, also the treasurer of the club this year. Some other things I'm involved in is I'm on the club ultimate frisbee team. So if any of you are interested in that, let me know or have questions about that. I'm also involved in QL Plus, which is the Quality of Life Plus Student Association, and I'm doing a year-long project with that. Also involved in research with the biomechanics lab, so that's also a really cool opportunity that I've had here. In terms of why I came, same as Kylie, I wanted a small kind of environment in the classroom at least. I didn't want to go to a lecture with like 300 people barely sitting in the back. So that's kind of what I wanted, and I got to see the shops actually, which was really cool when I toured and people showed me around, so that was something that I really liked as well. Awesome. Yeah. Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Sorry, I'm having some internet issues out here, but I am Josephine Majorano. I'm a first-year student at Cal Poly, and I am the recruitment and retention officer for the Women in ME Club. Some other clubs I'm a part of at Cal Poly is the Triathlon Club. So if you have any questions about that, you can also ask me. I've had a lot of fun with that. The reason that I decided to come to Cal Poly was when I was making my decision, I ended up touring like my top couple schools. And when I came to Cal Poly, I felt like it was a community that I felt like I was a part of. And I think it's just really awesome to be surrounded by people that are so welcoming. And also, I know I'm a very hands-on learner. Kylie mentioned this too, but the learn by doing is just awesome. Being able to, my first quarter in the intro to mechanical engineering class, you just get to take apart an engine and all sorts of really cool stuff like that. Really makes it really cool to go to Cal Poly, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So one of the things that the Women in ME Club does is we do a monthly breakfast club. So on Friday mornings, the club organizes to get food for everyone to come together, and everyone in ME, all the women in ME are invited to come, and we accept everyone who would like to come join us. And it's a really cool way to meet other people that are in, other women, especially in the mechanical engineering department. I know I've met a lot of other cool people through this, and I think it's been a really great thing being a first year to be able to meet upperclassmen, and the monthly breakfast club is a great way for me to like meet other people. And there's also faculty that show up, so it's really nice to talk to some of the professors and their experiences and everything.
Awesome. And so our club also has a shop night, either once a quarter or more frequently if we have the means to do that. And what it's all about is really getting experience and being in the shop together. Usually we'll have a shop tech come in and help us out with any questions we have. We have the main project idea. And as we go through tonight, of course, everyone gets creative. We can add our own things and use different machines than what was anticipated otherwise. And this is just one example of the shop that we have on campus, Mustang 60. There's another one called the Arrow Hanger. And we're working on making a small side table for our couches at home that we can study on. Shop nights like this have been really fun. And I was able to get all of my hours for something called a red tag, which then allows you to come into the shops later and build things by yourself or for your senior projects. So if you're looking for nice, fun ways to learn and also get your hours, this is perfect. And you can bring your friends. So yeah. Anything else to add to that, you guys?
Christine, you went. I just want to say that what was cool about this event that they did was that the shop really supported it, and they opened the shops just for them. And so it was just them there, and they had a dedicated number of shop techs there to help out. And so if you're scared, you're like, oh my God, I've never done this before. You're not alone. A lot of us have never done this before, but what I love about Cal Poly is that we're here to help you learn and ask questions and whatnot. And you see some of the shop techs there, and they're just great. It's not shameful to ask questions there. So I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Christina. You were there as well that night.
Yeah.
I just want to add one more thing, that this experience, if you guys choose to join us and you come to Cal Poly, it definitely made the space feel more warm and welcome. As Dr. Mott was saying, it was a little intimidating the first time, but now I have the confidence to go whenever I want. So, yeah.
And another really awesome thing is if you join as a first-year student, as part of your intro to mechanical engineering class that you're going to take your first quarter, you actually go through the process of getting that red tag. So then after that class, you'll be able to go into the shops whenever you want. And they walk you through what all the different machines do, how to operate them safely and everything. And it was really cool.
They even do that for us faculty members. So I got my red tag, and then I went back to the shop and I cornered a couple of students and said, hey, can you help me out? And it was interesting to go from always being the one teaching to being the one taught. And so that's actually a really cool thing, is that we're all here to learn with you guys as well. You might hear my cat now. All right. Okay, so this is our last slide here. We really hope that you can join us next year. We do have a Facebook group, and we have a Slack account that you could join. I'm going to leave this slide up, and we're going to start answering your questions. So I'd like to do them as many as we can live instead of typing them. So I know our ladies can read it. So if you want to take it on, and I can answer what you can't with that.
Yeah, and if you guys wouldn't mind reading the questions out loud, I can't click on anything on my computer right now, but as long as you can still hear me, we're all good.
Awesome. All right, so the question is, how many female professors are there in mechanical engineering? So I can take that one since I know our faculty a little bit. The girls are shouting yes. So there are 4 of us who are what's called tenure or tenure track, meaning that we are kind of permanent type faculty members. And then there's another, I'm trying to count on my hands how many there are, 7 to 10 faculty who are lecturers, which is more on a part-time type basis, but just as dedicated as the rest of us. And so that's actually quite a bit that we have here. We're really happy to have that many. Yeah, so that's the number of faculty we have.
And then in addition to that, also in the first couple of years, you're going to take classes like calculus classes, physics classes, which are taken through the math and physics department or chemistry department or whatever. And they have a lot of female faculty as well. And when you get to choose your classes, if that's something that's important to you, you can definitely go seek those out.
Yeah, this is true. Okay. Another question is, I know they say 17%, but do you know the actual number of women? So if I do a quick math, that's about 200 girls. in mechanical engineering. And I don't know how accurate that number is. It depends. I think a better kind of thing is like how many girls you see in your classes for that, because mechanical engineering is huge and we have small classes. And so something like biomechanical or environmental have 50% female students, but they only have maybe 400 students. So they have still only 200 students, but it's just a different kind of mix. So I don't know, Christina, Kylene, Josephine, how many girls are in your classes? How do you feel?
Do you want to speak first, Christina?
Yeah, I can go. My freshman year, which was 2 years ago now, there was one class where I was the only person, the only female in the class, but it wasn't something like super impactful. A lot of the guys in the class were really nice and helpful, and there wasn't really anything that I noticed. As I got into the upper division classes, though, there's actually a lot more women in my classes, which was surprising. I think it's just kind of the cards you get dealt a little bit. But I've definitely met a few people that are consistently in my classes, which is really nice. Yeah, that's pretty much my take on it.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with Christina. Throughout my classes, I've maybe been with one or two other girls in the class, but it doesn't feel negative at Cal Poly. Everybody is honestly in a team. There's no trying to keep people out of learning or whatever. So if that makes sense, right? You guys there's no shame. Everyone is welcome there, and I don't feel like the only woman in the class, even though the numbers may say so.
Yeah, I definitely have never been the only girl in a class yet. In the ME, the classes specific to the ME department, I don't know, maybe a quarter of the kids in the class have been girls, maybe a little bit less, but also a lot of the classes I've been taking in my first year have been my math classes, my physics, chemistry, and in those classes, I've noticed it's a higher percentage of girls as well. But that's another cool thing I've found through the Women in ME club, is it allows me to connect with a lot of other women, even if sometimes I feel like there aren't enough in my classes. It more than makes up for that.
Definitely. From a faculty standpoint, I have noticed over the last few years, I get more and more girls in my classes. So I think that's a trend I like to see. I don't know if they're picking to come to my classes or whatnot, but if you've got a few good friends that you can kind of choose classes with, then that helps too. So, okay. The next question is, how are the job opportunities for mechanical engineering after graduation? What about mechatronics? Some people said ME is hard to get a job. Now, I would have to disagree with that one. Hard no on that one. I think, honestly, mechanical engineering is one of the most broad and well sought after degrees out there. You can basically do anything that you want. So I work with a lot of students who are doing HVAC, and that's a huge industry in construction and even programming and mechatronics and all that kind of thing. And every single one of our graduates has multiple job offers. So I would have to say that you're going to get a job if you're in engineering. Christina, how about you finding internships, or Kylene, since you guys are at that point now?
I had one last year with PG&E, actually, an internship, which was really cool. It was cool to see that my classwork actually carried over. I know a lot of people say it was nothing related to my coursework, but I really found that Cal Poly's learn by doing is really beneficial in the internship world. At career fairs, they're definitely looking for MEs. I know a lot of people who are BMed or civil, and they're looking we're looking for MEs. So they're kind of upset about that. But so I would say that it's good. It's easy to get a job at the career fair if you're ME. I have no clue what I want to do. I didn't know either, so that kind of helps, because they're oh, we're still looking for your major, and I'm oh, well, what do you do? And kind of learning about it that way. So
I believe this major gives us a lot of different opportunity, like Christina was saying. If you don't know what you want to do, really, if you want to go into aerospace, you can. If you want to go into biomedical, you can. You have a really good foundation to then build off of. That's what I hear my friends say anyways. I'm not necessarily looking in those paths, but I've had 2 internships. I had one my summer before Cal Poly, and And then also being at Cal Poly has given me another opportunity in the field of HVAC. And so if you're actively looking and trying and you have a mechanical engineering degree from Cal Poly, you will be able, like Dr. Mott was saying, you'll be able to seek a job and get a job.
Yeah, and even as a first year this summer, I had 2 offers for internships that didn't work out because I'm from out of state and I couldn't find housing, but there's a lot of options out there, especially if you just like, I went to the career fairs that Cal Poly puts on every quarter. I went to the first career fair in the fall. I think it was about 2 weeks after coming to Cal Poly, which is kind of weird because I was a college student, yes, but I'd been there for 2 weeks and didn't know a lot, but I just went out there anyways and talked to the companies, and I got a lot of experience. And then when the next career fair came around, that's when I kind of knew what was going on, knew how to talk to people a little bit better in those situations, and I ended up getting some options there.
Definitely. Yeah. Oh, kind of on the same lines. Do you have summer interns in other states for out-of-state students? So yes, we do. Josephine just talked about how she was offered jobs in California and couldn't take them. But I know students who have come from Washington and gone back to their home state and gotten internships there. And as more and more students come from out of state and say we want jobs in our home states, companies are actually answering to that and on saying, hey, what's this school down here? We can come recruit as well. And a lot of companies have multiple offices as well. So definitely, it may be a little bit harder just in case if they don't come to our career fairs, but it's definitely possible, and you are able to do that. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Nobody's asked any questions right now, so let's go to other ones. What is it like to be on the quarter system? Be scary coming from high school where it's on semesters, trimesters.
I think it depends on your study habits, in the way that you take the whole experience. As a transfer student, my junior colleges were on the semester system, so that's what I remember more than high school. But it's on like a 16, 18 week versus 10 weeks at Cal Poly, and so it seems like, oh my gosh, it's basically half the time. I don't think it really feels that way. It is rushed, but as long as you start from day one and you try to stay ahead a little bit, you will be just fine. What do you think, you guys?
I think I've noticed for me coming from high school that catching up is not a good plan. So you just gotta, week one, you start, okay, classes start, and don't think it's the first week and things are gonna be easy. You just gotta really jump right into it and start studying hard and keeping up or working ahead as much as you can, and consistently keeping up with the material so that when midterms and finals come around, you already have been reviewing a little bit as you go along, so it's not all of a sudden, it doesn't sneak up on you as much then.
I think something like on the positive note is that if you don't like a class, say, or like you can be done with it in 10 weeks, like it's over. You don't have to like kind of drag through it. You'll get a new professor if you didn't like the professor, or you get like just an entire new subject. So it allows you to try a lot of different things also, because you have so many classes in 1 year. So like you can kind of figure out what you want to do that way.
And another really great thing is your winter break and your spring break will be right at the end of a quarter, because I know my brother comes home for winter break and he has to study the entire break because he has finals 2 weeks after he goes back. But I don't, because I just finished my quarter, which is really nice. It's the same thing with spring break. I know my friends went on spring break and had to study, and I didn't because I just finished the quarter. And I like that a lot too.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard from alumni and industry people that the pace of the quarter really prepares you for industry, because you know how to jump into a project and you know how to get going right away, and you know how to deal with not getting behind, or if you do go behind, how do you catch up with that? So I think it's a unique thing with Cal Poly, and it's pretty awesome actually. I like the quarter system. I went to grad school where it was a semester, and I was definitely a big fan of quarter systems. All right. Does anybody else have any more questions? Because we are coming up on 4 o'clock, and I want to make sure that you can go ask the department chair if there's any more questions, but I am happy to stay on and answer more questions as long as people want to be here. Is there anything else, ladies, that we would like to say about Cal Poly and being a woman in mechanical engineering?
I think it's awesome. I think it's great that you guys are interested in becoming mechanical engineers, and I hope you come to Cal Poly because I've had so much fun and I've met so many awesome people here. It's been a great experience for me.
I think one comment too is that when you're thinking about all your potential acceptances for school and coming up next in the fall, just think about where you find yourself at home. That's something I felt challenging going through the process. And I would always think like, oh, like what's the most prestigious school, or what's this town like, or whatever. But I had to really like think about, okay, what is my life going to look like, and what do I want out of my everyday school life, and when I thought about Cal Poly, and they have like the Innovation Sandbox, which is a bunch of 3D printers you can use whenever you want, or all of the shops and the different markets on campus, the nice library, that it felt more like home to me, as opposed to a huge library. Maybe there's 7 libraries. I didn't like that. So if those things are important to you, in addition to just being more in a community, I would highly suggest coming to Cal Poly. So,
Do we want to answer this last question?
Yeah, I was going to say, to add one more thing. I know it's really tough to decide without visiting the school. Like, we are so sad that you can't come visit us. We are all looking forward to being back on campus in the fall. So I know it's a tough decision for you guys, but yeah. So the last question is, do you do both the Women in Mechanical Engineering Club and I'm assuming SWE Club, the Society of Women Engineers? I'm not sure by who. I only do this one. I don't know if the other ladies are involved in SWE. You can be involved in both. We do different things. SWE is a lot larger and has more targeted different activities, where we are kind of more just trying to build a community within mechanical engineering to have smaller things right now. But it's also kind of what everybody wants it to be. So any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm actually a part of both. I'm not super involved in SWE. I found for me personally, I like the Women in ME club better. I found that SWE, it's a really big club and they have a lot of great resources. They have a test bank. If you're studying for an exam and you want to get some old practice exams to go through, that's really helpful. But I found that it's a little bit more of a structured organization and they plan a lot of events and stuff. But I really liked about Women in ME is you get to meet people one-on-one, and I feel like you get a little bit stronger personal connection. And I personally like that better. That's why I became more involved in this club, but they're both really awesome groups.
Yeah, I think the point is that there are so many things you can get involved with. It's really about finding the right place for you. And there's lots of options, and we're here to welcome you in to our group if that's the right place for you, and help you find the right place for you if you want to do something else. Okay. All right, it is a little bit after 4, so we're gonna close this one down. But thank you guys for coming, and anybody else who's watching this, if you have any questions, you can email the ME department at me-dept@calpoly.edu. You can also look me up on the website on Dr. Jennifer Mott-Poiker if you want to email me as well. So I have any questions. So good luck with your choices this year, and hopefully we'll see you next year.
thank you guys.
Thank you.